Welcome to the Hungry Coder channel, and today we are going to be looking at Python dictionaries. And this video will be suitable for anyone that's just about to learn about Python dictionaries, or anybody that wants a refresher as well. We'll pretty much cover every aspect of what's important to know about Python dictionaries, so by the end of this video you'll have a good understanding of how to work with Python dictionaries and what's possible to help you keep going forward, or again get that refresher. Anyway, so in front of us we have a dictionary open in my Visual Studio Code, which I'm using to write my Python code today. Now there's a few things that we should bear in mind as we go through, and we will go in more detail, but with a dictionary in Python, we store data in keys and values. So on the left hand side of the colons you have a key, and that means the manufacturer string here is a key, and next to it we have Microsoft, which is the value, and then we move to the next key, which is separated by a comma, and it's console, and the value of console is Xbox Series S, and then we have year, key, value 2020. So it's good to bear that in mind. And in terms of the syntax of declaring a dictionary in Python, it is surrounded by curly brackets, and of course we have to give the dictionary a name as well. Now you can actually write all of this on one line, but it's best practice to separate each key value pair when writing dictionaries, and you'll find that in future, or you may have already come across larger dictionaries that have a lot of items, so it just would never make sense to write it in one line. So with those kind of points in mind, let's move on. Okay, so one of the things you may want to do is to actually copy my dictionary here, or even make your own one with your own sort of data, but as long as it's following the correct syntax. Once you've written that down, come back to the video, and then what we're going to want to do is print the dictionary to the console and see what we get. So we'll open up our terminal, python.py. I've got an error, so that's because I'm not in the right folder. That's fine. So yeah, that's fine. So it is in the byte size folder. Yeah, just make sure you're in your right folder as well. If not, then open your terminal from within the folder. Anyway, what we got back was the key value pairs that are in the dictionary, so we just got them all back in one line. Of course, if it was longer it would go on for longer. You should be able to tell what sort of Python object this is. Let's just double check. Let's type in type, another parentheses here. Okay, so let's rerun that code, and it's a dictionary. And the reason you could tell that is because, of course, the curly braces on either end. So that was printing out the full dictionary. A few important things to also remember about dictionaries before we move on. The first thing would be to say that data within dictionaries is unordered. So like you would with a list, you would use an index to grab an item. That's not what we'd do with dictionaries. Dictionary items are changeable, meaning that we can change, remove, add items even after the dictionary has been created. Also, we cannot have duplicates in there as well, so we cannot have two items of the same key, so we couldn't have two consoles and two values in our dictionary. So we'll definitely bear that in mind as we move forward. So let's have a look at a few methods that we can use with dictionaries. So we used the type method already, which is of course compatible, but we can also check the length of our dictionary as well. So if we do a print statement along with len, and inside the parentheses also, we control S to save. Let's run that, and we can see 3. You may have expected 6, you may not have, but that is because each key classes as the item. So we have 3 key value pairs within this dictionary. Next thing is the data types. We can see that we have our keys, and the values can be any data type really. So we have an integer here, which is 2020, and we have strings. So keys can hold values of any data type within Python. Now let's talk about how we access these individual items within a dictionary. And you can access items of a dictionary by referring to its key name inside square brackets. So that's what we're going to do now. So let's create a variable called best console, and we're going to equal that best console to game dictionary square brackets. Now a quick note, if you've worked with lists before, you would understand that, or you may understand that getting items out of a list, you can use the index, which would also be in square brackets. So there's quite a similarity in that respect. However, let's put some quotes for our key name, and we're going to want to get back console. So again, we have our variable, and we are going to equal that to game dictionary, but we don't want to just get back the whole dictionary like we printed it earlier. We want to get specifically the console, Xbox Series X. So yeah, that's how we'd access it. Now what we should do is we should print best console, just to double check that the variable is storing the correct value for us. So we'll save that and let's run the script. And we got back Xbox Series X, which shows that if we ever refer to best console, it is going into the game dictionary, put in the key of console, and we are getting back the value of that key, which is Xbox Series X. Now, I don't want to confuse you, but there are two ways of getting the value of a key from a Python dictionary, but it is important to know because you may come across both. So let's let's change our original variable best console, and let's equal to the dictionary, and we can use .get parentheses, so a method, and we can put console as we did for the key, control save, and let's run that again, and we get the same result. So you can use .get, or you can use the square brackets, whichever you prefer. You may also want to retrieve a list of all of the keys within your Python dictionary, and remember the keys are on the left hand side and they hold our values. So we can use a variable, a method, and use a variable to store the result. So we can do keys equals our dictionary name dot keys parentheses, and let's make sure we print it to the console to see the result. And we expect, well, let's see what we get, but we expect a list, and we've got dict keys, and we have manufacturer, console, and year, and these are the keys on the left hand side. And this is useful if you need your program to retrieve a full list of keys, and particularly useful for larger dictionaries, but yeah, good to know. You may remember I said dictionaries are changeable, so we just printed the keys. Now let's demonstrate how it's changeable and how we can add to the dictionary as we go along. So let's do that. So we are leaving this print statement here, so we're going to get that result back, but let's change it during the down the order of execution. So let's type in the dictionary name, square brackets, so we need to give it a key, and that key is going to be, we are going to call it sales, and sales is going to equal to, let's just put in a number here, 10,000, and then let's print keys and run that in our terminal. Great, so we've got two results. We've got the first output here, which correlates to this print statement, And that's when our script starts running, this is how the dictionary looks, and that's how it's printed. After we get the keys, store the results of .keys method in the keys variable, and we print keys. And then we added a key and a value to the dictionary, printed keys again, and it's demonstrated that it's a changeable data set. So I hope that's a good explanation of how you can update dictionaries as you go along, and they can be filled out during the order of execution. Now, if we want to get all the values within a list, within a dictionary, it's very similar. So we can do values variable equals the game dictionary, and instead of .keys method, we can use .values method, which you may have guessed. And let's print the values. Print values, run that in our terminal, and we get Microsoft, Xbox Series X, and 2020. So these are the values on the right hand side, which is good to know. So we know how to get the keys, we know how to get the values, but what about when we want these together? Because manufacturer and Microsoft would be considered an item because they go together. It's a key and a value, and they give us an item. So very similar, we can create, like we did for keys and values, let's create one called items, a variable, equals our dictionary, and we are going to use the .items method, and we shall print items. Okay, great, save, and let's run that. And now we have a tuple within a list and a tuple with multiple tuples within the list. So we have a list of tuples, and you can see manufacturer and Microsoft are part of one tuple, and that means that they are an item. So we can get them, we can retrieve these items together as well as individually. Now, what if we want to check whether an item actually exists within our dictionary? Well, we can check that by using an if statement and the in keyword. So if console in, using the in keyword, the name of our dictionary, colon, and let's print yes, we have a console. Else, let's just print nope. Okay, so let's save that and run it. Yes, we have a console because we do have a console here. And what if we put something that wasn't there? So if sales, which we didn't keep, save, run, no, great. So if sales is in game dictionary, print yes, we have a console, or else print no. So that's a good way of identifying whether items or keys exist within a dictionary before you want to maybe go to the next part of your script or code. Now, what about changing existing values? So let's say let's get rid of our if statement. So you can change the value of a specific item by referring to its key name. So we can see here we have a key year and its value 2020. What if that was delayed and let's say it became 2021? Now what we can do is refer to our dictionary, square brackets, and we can do the key name, which would be year. So we're accessing that key, and now that value now equals 2021. And let's print out our dictionary. Print game dictionary, and let's specifically print the year. Let's see if the value did update. Save. 2021, perfect. So we can change values at any time we need to by using the key to access the value and assigning it a new value. Now, another way we can update the dictionary is by using the update method, which works with the dictionaries. So let's get rid of what we already have, and let's just show you that the dictionary is back to 2020. Let's just double check. Yeah, year 2020. Great, because that's the value we are playing with at the moment. So let's use the update method. So let's refer to our dictionary, game dictionary, and this time, because we're using a method, we're going to use dot update parentheses, and we need to give an argument, and the argument is going to be our key value pair. So we need to curly brackets, and then what we're going to do is enter the key on this side. So this is going to be very similar to the syntax of a normal dictionary, with the curly brackets and key value pairs, because you can add more than one. So year, and then we can do colon, and we are going to do 2021. And let's save that, and let's print game dictionary. Control save. Oh, and let's specifically print the year. So we'll give it the key. Save, and let's run 2021. So we can use the dot update method to update items, as well as accessing the key and assigning it a new value. And with the dot update method, you can give multiple arguments, so to speak. So yeah, it's very useful to know. So we've accessed items, we've retrieved items, keys, values. We've also updated items as well. But what about adding items to a Python dictionary? So this is done by giving a new key and a new value. So let's try it out. So let's refer to our dictionary here, and then we're going to put square brackets, because that's where we're going to put our key. Because if it doesn't exist and we give Python a full command here, then it's going to add it to the dictionary for us. So let's do sales, and then we can do equals, and we can do 1,000 or 10,000, sorry, and save, and let's print game dictionary, and let's give our print statement a sales key to print. So the key doesn't exist up here. Well, let's comment it out and see what happens. So if we put a hashtag there and make Python ignore this slice, if we do this, we should get an error. Make sure I save it. Okay, so let's run that. So we've got a key error, sales, which means that that key does not exist. Now, if we put this back in and take away the hashtag, save, game dictionary, we've created a key sales and assigned it a value. It should now be added to our dictionary. There we go, and we got back the value 10,000. It's good to know as well that the dot update method we used earlier, if we use dot update and the key value argument we give did not exist or does not exist, then it will create a new item, as long as your argument and command is complete. So next, let's talk about removing items from a Python dictionary, and there is a few ways to do this. One of the first ways would be to use the .pop method. So the way we would do this would be refer to our dictionary, and we're going to use .pop because it's a method. So we use dot, and we open a parentheses, which is where we're going to add our argument. So let's do quotes, so we can refer to a key, and let's get rid of year, and let's print our complete dictionary and save, and let's run it in the terminal. Now we got back a dictionary object, as you can see by the curly braces, of course, and we've got a key manufacturer value Microsoft, key console value Series X, but we do not have a year, and we do not have the key or value. So that's one of the first ways to remove items from a Python dictionary. Now, if we know that it's the last entry of our dictionary that we want to remove, we can use another method called popitem. And the way we would use that is referring to our dictionary dot popitem parentheses. We do not need to give an argument because it already knows what to do. So dot popitem, when we refer to it, is the function's already there in the background to say it is going to remove the last item that was added to this dictionary. Let's go ahead and print that. Print game dictionary, save, and let's see what we get. Yep, so we can see that year was removed as it is the last item on that Python dictionary. It's important to note that I'm using Python 3.9, so if any of your methods do act slightly different, it may be worth looking at what version you're on. Anyway, moving on, we also have we can use the delete keyword, which would delete our whole dictionary, which we're not going to use now, but if we just do del game dictionary, that's literally it, and your whole dictionary will be deleted if you needed to. But you could, there's also a .clear method, so let's have a look at that. So game dictionary .clear, and then if we print our dictionary, it will be empty. So we don't actually delete the dictionary, but we've cleared it. So now it's an empty dictionary. 2 curly brackets, no data at all. Next, we're going to take a look at looping through a dictionary. So you can loop through a dictionary using a for loop. I'm sure you may have learnt about those already. If not, just to take this as a brief overview on loops. But when looping through the dictionary, the return value are the keys of the dictionary, but we can return the values as well. But let's first print all of the keys, which are these on the left hand side. So for key in game dictionary, let's print key. So simple, control save, and let's run it. So it printed them out one by one: manufacturer, console, year. So for key, so this becomes key in game dictionary because it goes through one by one. It prints key each time, and yeah, make sure you're indenting in the right place as well. And like I said, we can also get the values as well. So we do that just by printing game dictionary key, control save, and we print, and we get all of the values, so Microsoft, Xbox Series X and 2020. So there may be times where you may want to have a unique copy of a game dictionary. Now, and the reason I say unique copy is because, of course, we could do game dictionary _1 equals game dictionary, which would create its own dictionary. So we can print game dictionary 1 and get the same result. So save, let's run that, and we get the same dictionary. So we can create a copy like that, but when this dictionary gets updated, so will this. So we'd want a unique copy in this instance. That means that we have a unique copy from how it is now, and any changes that are made to either either dictionary will not be reflected in each other. And the way we do that is pretty simple, to be fair. It's another dot method, so we can do game dictionary dot copy and a method. We don't need to create an argument there. However, we are going to need a variable so new dictionary equals game dictionary dot copy method, parentheses, no arguments, and then we can print new dictionary. And yes, we will get the same result. Great. Now let's make a change to let's remove the print statement because we don't need that in that position now. So game dictionary. So if you can remember, add a new key value pair. So this time I'm going to do sales again. So I'll do brackets. I need to give it a key, which is going to be sales, and that key is going to equals 10,000. Save. Print. Now let's print our new dictionary to make sure that that one hasn't changed, because that was a unique copy at this stage, not underneath here. It was here we wanted the copy. So yes, let's save and run. Great, so we've printed our new dictionary and it doesn't include sales. Now if we print our original dictionary, game dictionary, that does include sales. So we created a unique copy of a dictionary here by using the .copy method. Great, so I do hope you found that useful, going over the methods and how to work with dictionaries. I would suggest creating more dictionaries, updating values, and just playing around really. But yeah, when you're creating programs, you'll come across more methods and more ways of doing things, and it's what worked best for me when I started was just remembering what's possible. So I know that I can make a copy of a game dictionary, for example. I may not always exactly remember the .copy method. It's a pretty straightforward one, so you would, but for example, it's just knowing that you can do it, and then we can do things such as, let me show you. So let's open up Python by just typing Python, and we get the 3 arrows. We can do directory dict, and we get more methods here and classes. But yeah, so you've got copy that we just used, we've got items that we used, keys, and of course values, update, clear we used as well. But yeah, I hope you found that useful, and yeah, any feedback or suggestions or questions, do leave me a comment, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's help as many people we can with the dictionary subject in Python. Thanks.